Hello, today is a introduction to some other data structures, and this one we're going to talk about sets. So with the basic data structures, we're used and comfortable with using the list class, which we know about the array list. And then today we're going to talk about the set interface. And it's real similar to lists, and there's a couple different changes for that one. So from the set interface, we're going to talk about hash sets, and I'll briefly mention tree sets a little bit and the differences, but we're going to focus on just the concept of sets and which one to use. All right, with the basic parts, we're used to the list interface and the array list, and with those, we just we go through, we make a list, we add a whole lot of things to it. It could be something like a to-do list, it could be something like a list of people or standings or whatever things you have. With a set's a little different because a set only contains unique items. And what I mean by unique items, if we look at here, the difference between a list and a list, you list out everything you're possibly going to do. And if you notice on the left side, we have we're going to work a couple different times and we're going to take naps a whole bunch of different times right here too. It's like an ideal day for me. And then in a set doesn't have any duplicates. It just has each unique thing going on there. And a set automatically eliminates, and you don't even need to check for those. So a list has everything, and a set has only unique values or no duplicates. So why would you ever want to use a set? Well, one big thing question here is like if you need to find out how many unique words are in a book. Well, you'd go through there and every word you'd add that into a list or you'd add that into a set, and then if that word's already there, you don't want to put it in. Well, if you're using something like an array list, you would have to go through and do that physical check and say, okay, here's a new word. Is it there again? So common word is the word the. And do you look for it multiple times? With a set already has a data structure, automatically does that check for you, so you don't need to write that code. And most likely the people who determine a set did that pretty quickly and efficiently. So that's the big purpose of a set. All right, here is how it works. Jump out of there. And I'll just run through some of the basic methods that are in the used in a set or in a hash set and a tree set, just to show those things up here. All right, so very similar to, since this comes from the collections class, we're going to use this similar to how we did the list and the array list. So we'll create and declare the interface set, whatever type of things we're going to have in there. We're just going to keep track of words. So again, any object, and we'll go through there here too. And it can be two different things here. So like we use a list, we said equals an array list. Here, the set, it's going to be a new hash set or a tree set. And we're going to do the hash set at first, just to go over the basics, and then a tree set is a special type of those. I'll talk about those towards the end of this video. A hash set. Hashing is a concept we'll talk about in a different video, how you come up with those different ways. It's just a way of organizing and finding things to make searching for values a whole lot quicker and faster. So hashing, hash tables, a big idea of computer science, just to increase the efficiency of stuff. All right, so real similar to a list. How do we add elements? We're going to use the add method just like you would in a list. So if I said set.add, I can put any different things in there. So let's just do objects around my house that I'm thinking of right now. I'm looking around and seeing those. So when we print this out, I'm going to show you this how things get added, because I get added a little differently than normally in a list does. So we see that for chair. We add that. Let's add a few more things. So set.add. Let's add a book. And let's print this out. I'm going to copy this a whole bunch of times so I can go a little faster with this as we see the examples. All right. So we see chair and we see book. Now, if I do this correctly, this third one should add things in a weird order for the first time looking at this. And this has to do with the whole concept of hashing. Okay. All right, so far so good. I was wrong. I don't have the hash codes memorized, unfortunately. And let's keep on going. Set.add. What else can we have here? A light. Okay. Now here, when we ran this one, if you notice the first three, they were added very to the end of the list. That's at least how it appeared, like it did in the array list. But for this fourth word, light, that got added at the beginning. I wonder why. So let's look at some other ones here, and I'll kind of get into a big explanation as to how things work. At first, it looks like there's no rhyme or reason, even though you may try to find a pattern. You might see that because it's a small sample size, and there may be a pattern, but there is really no super distinct pattern. Like television went in the middle. You might have been thinking maybe it's because of the length of the word or alphabetical order or something, and it wasn't that. The way the hashing works is that it gets ordered by its the object's hash code or hash value. And that is some crazy, unique algorithm to come up with how they want to organize these things differently. So instead of giving them numerical values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even alphabetical orders and adding letters, there's this crazy algorithm. The string class has one that's already built in, and there's a hash code method, which you can call as part of the object class, that automatically do this. So in order to use these ideas of like sets and maps and a lot of different things, all these objects need to have a hash code built into that. Again, there's different lessons for those. We're just going to use them at this point. So if I add, again, other examples, if I add the word lamp and we print this out, let's see where lamp goes in the problem, and you see lamp goes at the end. Right now, there's no rhyme or reason. The order doesn't matter. It's just going to boom, put it in there. So unlike a list, we can't control where you can put things in a specific order. In a set, the values, the objects just get thrown in there, and you can't iterate through, or you can iterate through the things, but you can't specifically say, hey, this one goes here and this one goes there. It doesn't work that way. All right, so that's the basic idea. We just call add, things get thrown in wherever they go. That's the simplest way of thinking about how to use these hash sets at the beginning. Some other things we can do, let's just check to see if an element exists. So is one of these words or strings, is this in the set? Yes or no. And we can use that one just using the contains method. It's real similar to the string class. You have that one. I believe the list class has it too, where we can just check for those things. So is the word desk? And let's put a question mark to prompt it so we know what it is. Is that in this set? So we can say set.contains. And contains, you can read there on the right side, returns true if it's contained in the element. Program's going to look for it. The methods are already done for that one, so there's no searching for us. That's nice. We don't have to do any thinking. We let the other method do the thinking for this. So whatever object I'm looking for, pass that in as the parameter. So is the desk in the set? It is. So it should print out true. We see that on the right that it does. And let's just look for something that doesn't actually exist in there so we can see a false value as we're testing and checking. So the word plant. Is that in the set? We see above that it's not, so we know it's not going to be there. This thing should come out as false. Let's just double check to make sure it does. All right, so we run this with plant. It should be false. We run it. There it is. We see it's false. For those who need the spaces like me to keep organized, then we can run it again and see false. All right, so it's the biggest thing in there. We add it. We check to see in there because at some points we have to check, hey, is this value in the set? So there's no iteration. We don't need to look over every single object. We can just call this one method that already does the looking for us. It does the iteration. It does whatever it has to do underneath the hood to find the stuff. So that's kind of nice. We don't need a loop. We don't need an if statement checking to see if this equals this or something. That's nice. Other things we can do. If we can add things, then let's remove stuff. So removing works real similar to the list. We use the remove method, except remove. So here we're going to remove the specific object. In the list, we always removed by the index or where it's located, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we just find the object and remove that thing because we really don't have indices for these hash maps hash sets. Hash maps, a different data structure that we'll talk about fairly soon because sets and maps usually go together. So remove whatever thing you want to get rid of here. So let's get rid of the desk and let's print that out again. Make sure it goes. So we take out the desk and then bam, you can see that desk is gone out of the set. Just takes it out. Everything else gets resorted, reorganized, gets filled. The gaps get filled in for those. You can also remove anything else you want to. Let's go ahead and remove book just so you can see it working one more time. Okay. And book will go. Different things are gone. No problem. Piece of cake for that one. All right, so other things similar to a list, how many elements do we have in the set? In the list, we have the size method. We're also going to do that right here. So what is the size? Let's just check that out. So how many elements do we have? And that'll be set.size. Looking at from the output on the right side of the console, we should have 4 things. It prints out 4. There we go. We're happy. Other things that we can check for too is this thing empty? Yes or no? So empty. Set dot is empty. Okay, so we'll check us just do the Boolean value. Is this set empty? There's 4 things in there, so it should print out false. Yes, it does. We are happy. And going through there too. All right, so the last little parts here, other things to show. How do you iterate? Iterate going through things with this. Since these are not stored by an index, we cannot use a traditional for loop. We don't know, there is no get method if it wasn't list. So we can only use a for each loop or the iterator object for this one. You just use a for each loop typically to go through and access all the stuff. So my set consists of strings. So for each word that is in my set, we can just access, do whatever you need to do with those objects and things simply just to show you how it works. We'll print it out and be really boring, but you see all 4 items get printed out: light, chair, television, lamp. So the order in which they're in the set, that's still the order they'll be printed out. And then removing everything, the easiest way, instead of using, you use a for each loop and remove that specific object, or we can just use the clear method. So we can say set.clear, which removes everything, and then again we'll print it out one more time just to show you that things are gone. We should see the empty set, and there it is, empty set. Everything is already removed for that, and then also just showing you that is empty. System.out.println. And again, this one should turn out false, or sorry, should be true, excuse me, because it's asking for is empty, not is it not empty. And that's the basic idea for these sets. Basic things, real similar to a list, except with the set, there are no duplicates. That's the biggest thing for this. Now, there are 2 different types of sets we can implement and get going here. We have the hash set, which things get order gets put into the set by their hash code. There's another type of set called a tree set. And if I said set of string type set, I'll just repeat the thing, equals a new tree set. And the tree set's going to work a little differently. So we keep looking at this one here, focus on this line that says light, chair, television, book, desk, and lamp. Now with the tree set, let's see what happens if the order is going to change. Now for this one, when we look at it, the things go in order is what happens with a tree set. A hash set just puts in by the hash code, which is this crazy lookup, but it makes the searching a whole lot faster. A tree set is organized by order. Whatever the object's ordering is, or the compare to method using the comparable class, that's how that object will be ordered or sorted, so to speak. So with string, that object, everything there gets done alphabetical order, lexicographical order, where we know capital letters come before lowercase letters. So that's why you can see now this thing is in alphabetical order. So there's times where you need the tree set, which you might need to sort things already. If not, you just need to put things in, then use a simpler, quicker, more efficient version of the hash set. So I'll go back and run the hash set one more time so you can see that. And again, the hash set, you can see it looks like they appear in the random order, but it uses this hash code. That will be discussed in a different video. All right. Enjoy working with sets.